A new twist in the Caylee Anthony case. The Anthony family in Florida has hired a celebrity spokesman in California to speak out for them now. All this past week, George and Cindy Anthony, Casey's parents, have been ducking the cameras, whereas in previous weeks they seemed happy to talk to reporters in the hopes of getting their granddaughter back. Well, now Larry Garrison, who has his own Hollywood production company, also happens to be the co-author of a book on Natalee Holloway, is the official Anthony family spokesman. Friday, on the record, Garrison told Greta Van Susteren his reasons for taking the job.
Well, basically, there's been a spin going on out there, and I'm going to try and give the family their lives back.
All right, the spin being what?
There have been so many people that have reported erroneous things, and it seems like this is being tried in the press, when in essence it's deterring people from coming forward.
Is that what is really going on here? Joining us now live from Washington, Dr. Alan Lipman, a criminal psychologist and executive director of the Center for the Study of Violence. Thank you so much for coming on. First, I want you to react to what Larry Garrison just said, that he wants to help the family. Sounds to me like he wants to help himself get a book deal.
Well, if your 2-year-old child who you loved and cared for went missing, the first question we have to ask is, would you hire someone who not only had made his name or fame or infamy, shall we call it, by writing a book about Natalee Holloway, but also representing John Mark Carr, the person who made his name in the John Benet Ramsey case? Would that help you find your child, or would that put more layers between finding this poor little girl if she is to be found?
Dr. Lipman, you say that you haven't seen something like this in 20 years, and you say that Casey Anthony, the 22-year-old mom in jail, has the traits of a psychopath. Why do you say that?
Well, look, let's look at what we've got here, Julie. First of all, let's look at Casey. Now, she's a 22-year-old girl, and she has been taken into this media hurricane. But we can't forget that this is a hurricane of her own making. She lied about how long Caylee had been missing. She lied about having a job, even leading the Ocean County investigators right through the job place.
What do you think is the most...
She lied about the date of the missing child. Lie after lie after lie after lie.
What do you think is the most outrageous lie that would actually give you evidence as a criminal psychologist that she is involved in a possible homicide?
Well, the most striking lie, and there's more to psychopathy than lies, but the most striking lie, to answer your question, in my view, and I've been thinking a lot about this, and perhaps we'll make some news, is the lie about the date of the loss. Now, first of all, just common sense. If you had lost your 2-year-old child, I don't think you'd get the date wrong by 6 days. She originally reported the date as June 9th. It turned out to be June 15th. And I've been thinking a lot about this June 15th date. Does anyone remember what June 15th was?
What was June 15th?
Father's Day. And we don't know much about the role of the father.
We understand that the father is deceased, but we don't know the father. So
there are conflicting reports, actually, about that in the news today. And there's a real question, I think, as to why that date in particular, and why that date was hidden. Why was it so important to hide the date? We know that originally the grandparents, the grandmother said, why don't you just tell the truth in that tape-recorded telephone conversation? And we know that the gas cans were found that the grandfather had reported stolen in the back of the car. So it seems as if there is a concerted effort to try and hide the evidence of actions by changing the date of the crime.
You know, it's interesting.
Now, look, everyone is innocent until
Wait,
proven
you're talking
guilty.
about, of course, and we don't want to speculate here. We're looking at the facts and we're examining the lies. But it's interesting that you notice that particular date that she claims was the last time she saw her, it was in fact revealed that she was lying because there was a picture of Caylee and her grandfather George, and that happened to be on Father's Day. Very ironic.
The Orange County Police Report, if we go to the police report, stated that Casey had lied about virtually everything that she had said. Apart from stealing checks and money from her friends. Apart from what she's doing now, which is taking a bail from someone who may have other interests than the best interests of this child
All
at
right.
heart. So we have to wonder about
Sure
her
thing.
motives.
All right, Dr. Lipman, that's all the time we have, but thank you very, very much. And, of course, we'd love to have you back on to examine this once we get more info from
You
Casey,
bet.
if she starts telling the truth at some point. Thank you.